Hello, it is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday puzzle. Wednesday, so a midweek, mid-difficulty, roughly, puzzle. And today's solve is brought to you generously by Jake Rodkin, Jordan Larson, Timothy Mark, a.k.a. Bidiot Bales, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you so much for backing the Patreon campaign. These are benefactors of the Patreon campaign. And if you'd like to join their ranks, you can do so at patreon.com/dailysolve, where in addition to that benefit, you can find a whole slew of bonus video solves, and more of those go up every week. And thank you so much to everybody else who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so I'll talk about a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. And there was a particular, I would say the most commented clue from yesterday's puzzle was the one surrounding the answer Robinson, referring to Jackie Robinson, the first Rookie of the Year in MLB. And people were quite shocked that I wasn't familiar with Jackie Robinson, very notable as the first Black MLB player. And of course, I am familiar with Jackie Robinson, but I didn't know that bit of trivia, particularly about Rookie of the Year. And I thought about Jackie Robinson when I saw Robinson, but I guess in part because he was such a consequential person. In fact, as Michael Trick points out, Jackie Robinson might be one sports figure everyone should know with influence far beyond baseball. I think because of that reason, because of the import, I felt reticent to assume that's who it was, because I thought it would be even sillier if I had incorrectly assumed who that was. So I just didn't, I kind of had an internal little battle with myself about it and ended up not really coming to any conclusions. So I just moved on. Probably should have assumed it was Jackie Robinson, but I didn't. So that was a shame. And let's see. Yes, Matt Land also, for instance, said, "I was surprised you didn't fill in Jackie Robinson sooner, being one of the most famous baseball players as the first Black player in the MLB." So, I mean, if he'd been clued that way, I certainly would have instantly known the answer. But and I, probably should have known the other thing as well, but I didn't, and didn't want to assume. Anyway, speaking of Matt Land also points out, this didn't occur to me at all, the spoon-bending theme is nicely timed with the new Matrix movie coming out tomorrow. Realize the truth, there is no spoon. That absolutely didn't occur to me whatsoever. But yes, good point. There's obviously that scene in the original film, The Matrix, with the child, a little boy, I guess, bending spoons. Yep. Didn't think of it at all. And Matt Land also explains the NFL blocker RTs from yesterday's puzzle is right tackles, a position on the offensive line that blocks opposing players getting to the quarterback and makes space for a run play. So certainly didn't know that. And finally, Kathy Swope points out two things. Jack Parr was the second host of The Tonight Show from 1957 to 1962, preceded by Steve Allen and followed by Johnny Carson. So I think those are all basically things I knew. I just couldn't remember if it was The Tonight Show or The Late Show or which one of those. And then she also points out, I guess self-evidently, the name of the Up on the Housetop Click, Click, Click song is, drumroll, Up on the Housetop. So, all right, stands to reason, doesn't it? So, all that said, I guess I'll just, a couple other reminders. There's the Daily Solve Twitter account, at the Daily Solve on Twitter, and there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server, to which you can find a link in the description field underneath each video, including this one, of course. And if you are a Patreon subscriber at any level, you get an additional channel in there, the Solvers Society channel, very, very special and exclusive. But it's free for anybody to join, regardless of whether they back the Patreon or not. If you just want to chat with folks about this series, the New York Times crossword, other crosswords, and crossword constructions. And I think, as I said, maybe yesterday or the day before, there's already a whole new crop of crosswords that have been created in the Constructor's Corner channel in the Discord. So I'm looking forward to solving those on video again for patrons. That will be coming soon, I'm sure. And today's puzzle, finally, as I say, it's a Wednesday puzzle. It was constructed by Noki Trias and Lawrence Barrett, edited as always by Will Shorts. And I looked up Noki Trias and Lawrence Barrett before starting this video today, and they are a first-time collaboration. It's a first time for each of them in the New York Times, and actually a father and daughter duo. So Lawrence Barrett, the father, and Noki Trias, the daughter, they have gotten into crossword construction together fairly recently over the course of the pandemic. And they were mentored by apparently Robin Weintraub, who's she's a very prolific New York Times crossword constructor. So that is a nice little story. And I look forward to solving their puzzle. It'll have some kind of theme. We're still in the themed part of the week. And all that said, let's get started. Okay. Darn it. This could be any number of things, I suppose. So let's keep going. In base 8, so this refers to a base 8 number system, counting system, as opposed to base 10, the decimal system, which is the ordinary system of numbering we use. So this would be octal, I would think. And composer of the piano piece played by Bugs Bunny in Rhapsody Rabbit. I don't remember specifically which cartoon this is, but I bet it's Liszt. And here we have tennis champ Osaka. All right, well, I'm going to remember this now. Naomi Osaka, certainly I've encountered her in the puzzle before. Morning hours would be AMs, anti-meridians, morning hours, and ode words. So here's a way we can get an ode into the crossword, or references to ode, the poetic form, into the crossword without the word ode being the fill. And so the answer, I suspect, would be twos. You'll have ode to a Grecian urn, I suppose, probably. Or is that ode on a Grecian urn? I actually don't remember. But in any case, an ode to something is pretty common. I guess an ode isn't really a poetic form, is it? I said form, but it isn't necessarily a form per se. Anyway, Nanny blank. I'm not actually sure what this is. Nanny, I don't know. This is interesting. Look at all these S's. I wonder is this just a coincidence? This could be a word ending with two S's and then another word starting with an S. Jovial seasonal mood. Oh, Christmas spirit, probably. All right, I was wondering if maybe there was going to be some theme situation in which the entire row was S's or something like that. But no, I think it's a coincidence that I just happened to... Oh, maybe not. Oh, sorry, ode words, 2A, not twos. Okay, I had that wrong entirely, although it turned out it's still Christmas spirit. Why did I think that would have three S's? That was a strange lapse. Anyway, so the ode words are 2A. So when you see words, specifically when words is clued in the New York Times crossword, it can mean either a single word pluralized to indicate that word happens a lot, so that creates the words to very frequently in odes, or it can refer to more than one word in the answer itself. And in this case, I was wrong. It refers to more than one word in the answer itself. So we have 2A, again, ode to a Grecian urn, for instance. Anyway, Christmas spirit. There we go. Nevertheless could be yet. And city with a beef. Oh, could that be Kobe beef from Japan, the city of Kobe? And Clarice Starling's employer in The Silence of the Lambs. In brief, Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs is an FBI agent. So there we go. Resident Alien channel. Never heard of Resident Alien, but it's the Sci-Fi channel, which has rebranded itself a while back. Is it SIFY or SYFY? I can't remember. Let's look at the cross. Certain designer dog. Well, it probably isn't an I. That would be an odd way for this to start. Yorkshire Terrier? Is this when it says designer dog, does that mean it's some kind of mix? Could it be something like Yorkie Poo or something? I feel as though a lot of frou-frou dog crossbreeds are what is it? Poodle mixes, I guess. They have a poo at the end. I wonder if it could possibly be Yorkie Poo. Such a ridiculous word, but it seems like it might be right. Like many, yeah, actually it might be. Like many a go-getter could be type A personalities. And lovable goofball, say. I don't know, a doof or something maybe. Although I would be surprised if we had an OOF in both the clue and the answer. So gabs could be yaks, for instance, as in, talks on and on. So I'm typing very inefficiently because I'm sort of adjusted my setup a bit from yesterday to try to make things a bit, it's not worth explaining, but I can only use my right hand at the moment. Okay, gabs could be yaks. Cost of not doing business, maybe. Not sure. And here we have cousin of a gull. So a gull is a seabird, and a tern is also a seabird, Tern. So I wonder if that could be a cousin of a gull. And then here we have a lovable goofball. Oh, a dork, maybe? That seems plausible. And what about this? Take a snooze without. Could be to zonk out, to doze for a bit. And to lose the suit, say, could be to skinny dip. In this case, to lose the swimsuit. All right, what is this again? Cost of not doing business, maybe. I suppose Yorkie Poo could be an I rather than a Y. That looks a little better in this long 22 across answer. Cost of not doing business, maybe. Lost opportunity would be the cost of not taking advantage of a particular business interest. Lost opportunity. And Indian flatbread roti. Oh, here we go. So is this, here we have our, I think we have our revealer, and it's actually here in the middle of the puzzle, not towards the bottom, as Lyell's law would generally predict. So what is this? NASA endeavors whose vehicles can be found at the ends of 17, 22, 51, and 57 across. So we have spirit and opportunity. So missions looks like it fits right here. And what specific missions are those? Sort of, it's funny that they have NASA Endeavors, because Endeavor was a space shuttle mission, right? So that's kind of a nice little tip of the hat. Hamilton actor Leslie Odom Jr. And hubbub is an ado. Bother could be a pain. That's a real bother. That's a real pain. And regional wildlife, biota, right? Sort of ecological milieu, I guess, of an area. Same here. Could be as am I or as do I, depending on what is the same, whether it's something you are or something you do. So we could probably put in the I anyway. And let's look at 40 across. Fist bump, that is a dap. I feel as though dap was what people called that a while ago. It comes from Black American slang, I'm certain, and fist bump suddenly started getting a lot more traction just in the last few years. Okay, same here. So in this case, it looks like as do I. And then Blank Islands, Polynesian Archipelago. I can't bring it to mind. That's driving me crazy. Here we have place to catch up over a hot drink. Place to catch up over a hot drink. A tea shop, maybe? Could be some sort of shop. What about these? Unfixable. And home to the deepest lake and river gorge in the U.S. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll delete shop until I have more crosses and feeling a bit more confident. I guess we sort of left the whole initial region of the grid empty. So let's head back up there. College app element. College application element, and app is abbreviated, so this will be some kind of abbreviation or contraction. So what goes into a college application? Your GPA, your test scores, your essay maybe? I don't know. Blank Tannenbaum, 16th century folk song that inspired a carol. Is this not Christmas spirit? I don't know. I mean, I know the Christmas Carol, O Tannenbaum, but I'm not sure. Avid skateboarder in lingo. Oh, a thrasher, I think, is what such a person would be called in lingo. And darn it, oh, darn it could be rats, maybe. Let's try that. College app element. Oh, a recommendation. There we go. Ah, and a sound heard in a long haul is an echo. There we go. It's all coming together. And so what was this? Right. Ach Tannenbaum. Okay. I didn't know that, but now I do. Ach Tannenbaum, 16th century folk song that inspired a carol. Great. Gardener's orders at times. Gardener's orders at times. I'm not sure. And Hershey toffee confection. Oh, is this score? I think this has maybe come up on the puzzle before. I don't think I've ever had a score bar. I can sort of bring the logo to mind, maybe, but I don't. Maybe it's toffee. I hope it's toffee. And here we have blank seltzer, Alka-Seltzer. There we go. What is that for? Is that for indigestion? I actually don't know what Alka-Seltzer is for. It's a tablet you drop into a drink and it fizzes up and you drink it and it helps you with something. Indigestion, perhaps. Straight out of the barrel, on tap. So as in a beer, for instance, on tap. An ale. Soil. Oh, gardener's orders at times. Soil tests. I see. Okay, I was erroneously thinking of this as a directive that would be as sort of a spoken directive or spoken orders given either to a gardener or from a gardener, the gardener speaking the orders, but it's not. It's a thing that a gardener might order, a soil test. So here we go. And significant blank, significant other, and blank vez, or again in Valencia, otro or otra. Let's see, which is other. And warrior in the Greek pantheon must be Ares, the god of war, so warrior makes sense there. And fertile ground is loam, soil. And so this must be Martian missions, of course. So otra, not otro, so feminine. And Martian missions, there we go. Probably should have remembered that myself, but I didn't, so thanks to the crosses. Like hay on a farm is baled, the hay is collected into bales. And a sketch show since 75, and 75 being contracted from 1975 indicates that the answer as well will be contracted, so SNL for Saturday Night Live, and eventually could be in time. And let's see. Oh, here we have place to catch up over hot drinks, so it actually looks like it might be Tea Shop after all, so let's put that back in. And then what was this over here? Walkie-talkie band, briefly. Oh, I don't know. Is this ham or I don't know. I don't know anything about that whole world really. Awkward farewell and poet who coined the term carpe diem. Oh, that's interesting. I'll be curious to see who that is. Here we have a kind of kiss. And what about over here? When repeated slangy sound of eating. I wonder if that's nom nom nom. Is that what that's meant? Is that meant to communicate the sound of eating? I suppose it is. Never really thought about it. Ridiculous. And what is this? Likely cause of a cranky toddler's ear tugging. Huh. I have no idea. Cold rice topped with wasabi and raw fish. Is nom correct? Why do I not know what this is offhand? Oh, well, I'm trying to find something that actually fits in the letters, I mean. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll know it when I see it, but I'm sort of struggling for some reason in this little area. Why everybody loves a good train wreck. That'll be a fun answer to see. Fish, also known as bluegill. I don't know. Is it bream? I mean, that would fit in the crosses. That would fit in the current crosses anyway. Awkward farewell. I wonder if that could be something like so by or something like that. I'm just wondering because if this were bream, this could be a B for by. And then here we have Uniquely American cleverness. Uniquely American cleverness. What does that mean? Yeah, oh, so actually, if this did have by, this could start with a Y, and in a clue about something American, this could be Yankee. Ingenuity or something? Is Ingenuity a Mars mission? I don't recall. Let's try it. Days gone by. Oh, so this is scrolling off on the right. Some viewers they pointed out something that I should have noticed, which is that I didn't need to keep scrolling up and down the page because the clues are, I'm sure very obviously to all of you, were printed right up here. So I don't know why I never really noticed that. I guess it's because I'm the one sort of navigating through, and so my eye is drawn to the part of the page that is changing, that is sort of being navigated through, which is the list of clues. But I don't need to look over there. I can look above the puzzle and not need to keep scrolling around. All right, so days gone by in bygone days. Oh, could it be eld or air? Rest atop and Fangorn forest dweller. Is this Lord of the Rings? I think it might be. So this could be an Ent, the tree creatures from Lord of the Rings, perhaps. They would probably dwell in a forest. And I blank know, common excuse. I didn't know, I guess would be common excuse. So this days gone by in bygone days does look like eld, doesn't it? Obviously related to elder or eldest. And rest atop could be lie on, not lay on. At least it better not be, because that would be incorrect. Timing of the Mercutio Tybalt duel in Romeo and Juliet. Act 3 it must be. It's sort of couldn't really be anything else with these crosses here, these three eyes. And to make a bow or to make a bow. So it looks like it's to make a bow in this case, and it would be to tie a bow. Home to the deepest lake and river gorge in the U.S. What is this? And what is this? Unfixable. I don't know. Is tie incorrect? Make a bow or make a bow. I don't know. Maybe tea shop is wrong? Or I'm just missing some obvious things. Home to the deepest lake and river gorge in the U.S. Why do I not know this? What is this? I don't know. Let's keep looking elsewhere. Ignores could be shuns, maybe, or snubs. Actually, maybe snubs is actually, I think, a closer match than shuns. And here we have member of the fam could be sis for sister, because fam we're using a slang term for family, and so similarly we will with sister if that is indeed the answer. And what have we? Is there anything we haven't seen? I keep recently not looking at all of the clues, which isn't helpful. Title woman in a classic 1973 breakup tune. I can't think offhand. We'll have to get it with crosses. Make a bow. Fish also known as bluegill. Oh, right. So this does look like bi, doesn't it? Oh, and blank homo, ecce homo. Behold the man, which is a phrase used in many contexts, but my favorite context in which this is used is the name of that painting in that small town church somewhere in Spain that was the subject of an amateur restoration a number of years ago, and the result was quite incredible. And it's one of my favorite things that has happened. Certainly in the category of art restoration, it's one of my favorite things that's ever happened. Not that I know of very many other hilarious things that have happened in the world of the restoration of art, but this is a good one. The restoration of Ecce Homo in Spain. Okay. Anyway, soaks up the hot sun. Could be bakes, maybe? And quizzical Quebec questions. Quizzical Quebec questions. So this will be something in French, presumably. I don't know what question that would be. So if this were bakes, this could indeed be bream. I'm just going to go ahead and finally put that in. Kind of kiss, although this already doesn't look great. Oh no, it's because I mistyped it. Kind of kiss. Oh, French kiss. There we go. And poet who coined the term carpe diem. And walkie-talkie band briefly. Not sure. And here, why everyone loves a good train wreck. Oh, morbid curiosity. Oh, curiosity. Right, of course. That does sound like a Mars mission, Curiosity, now that I think about it. And, oh, awkward farewell. Bye, I guess. There we go. So walkie-talkie brand. Oh, Horace. Sorry, it was the poet who coined the term carpe diem. It took me too long there. And so what is this walkie-talkie band briefly? UHF. Ultra high frequency, I guess? That sounds pretty plausible. And quizzical Quebec questions are A's? It's kind of an odd answer. I don't really know how to say that. So is that French or is that Canadian? Is that Canadian French or Canadian English? I actually don't know what this particularly means. I mean, obviously it just means, what was that? What did you say? But I don't know what language or dialect it's specifically referring to. But in any case, it is quizzical. You say, hey, what did you say? So it's fair enough. All right, unfixable. Oh, this looks like it should be ruined. So maybe tea shop is wrong after all. Oh, it's tea room. Oh, and then that makes this much more obvious. Samoan. Okay. Boy, that tea shop was really throwing me for quite a few of these answers. That was a mistake on my part. A tea room. There we go. A place to catch up over a hot drink. And that makes Oregon the home to the deepest lake and river gorge in the U.S. And unfixable is ruined. Okay, it's all coming together. Makes a bow is indeed Thai. And let's see. Is there anything we haven't seen in here? Yes. Cheese board choice. That could be brie cheese. And ridiculous could be my eye, a sort of slightly archaic way of dismissing something forcefully. Okay, title woman in a classic 1973 breakup tune. Annie, maybe? I don't know that I know what this is offhand. What is this? Likely cause of a cranky toddler's ear tugging. Well, it could be an itis, which is an inflammation of some kind. But I don't know. Otitis, I don't know. When repeated, could it be, otitis, I guess, if this after all, nigiri. Nigiri is the cold rice topped with wasabi and raw fish. How did I not remember these things? And then the title woman in a classic 1973 breakup tune is Angie, which that I don't remember actually, unfortunately. But nigiri I certainly do, and I don't know why that took me so long. So is this everything? There we go. All right. Whoa. I don't know if that... I still don't think I've fixed the sound coming through properly. I can't tell. It sounds like it just came out of my computer's speakers, which isn't what I intended to happen. Anyway, there was the Wednesday puzzle. So this was sort of a stumbling solve for me in ways that they probably shouldn't have been. I really struggled on Samoan Islands, Polynesian archipelago. I mean, that should have been pretty obvious. Nigiri, I don't know why that one took me so long, especially when I had those 3 eyes in there. Otitis, I don't think I know otitis. That must be an inflammation in the ear of some kind, which makes sense because otic, I think, does refer to the ear in some way. So, I mean, it makes sense, but it wasn't a malady with which I was immediately familiar. What else should have been? I just noticed we had this French crossing with A's, and I still don't know if this is actually meant to be French or not, but that's kind of funny. I like the... This is a fun theme, so we never really looked back at it. Here we go. So we had Christmas spirit. So spirit, lost opportunity, morbid curiosity, and Yankee ingenuity. So spirit, opportunity, curiosity, and ingenuity for Martian missions of NASA. So that was fun. And look, we have... Is that illustrated in the puzzle? Is this maybe some kind of spacecraft that's illustrated in the puzzle? We have a rare example of symmetry about a vertical axis in this puzzle, by which I mean if you folded the grid on an imaginary line that ran vertically through the center of the grid, it would match. It would be symmetrical. And typically the crossword is radially symmetrical. In other words, it would be symmetrical if you rotated it 180 degrees around the center. But in this case, it is symmetrical about a vertical axis, and that is so that we can illustrate this little pod sort of thing. So maybe this is a Mars lander or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I suspect it's illustrating something about something related to these Mars missions. So that was nice, and definitely not really any particular area of the grid that was hugely challenging, although I certainly seemed to struggle more towards the bottom than I did towards the top, but in ways that are sort of frustrating in retrospect. And then this tea room, I kept thinking that was tea shop, and that consistently, and I suppose it's because this as do I, that was indeed correct, and that O is present in both room and shop. So that really threw me off, and is a big reminder to always be thinking of alternative things that could match the clue in question. And then, UHF I recognized, this frequency band. I recognized this after seeing it, but I didn't bring it to mind immediately, although I'm less surprised. I'm less annoyed at myself for that than I am about, for instance, Nigiri or Samoan, which feel like they should have been more obvious to me. But yes, there we go. A fun debut puzzle by a father and daughter team. That is a nice thing. And I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed the solve as well, the video. If you did, please do subscribe to the series. Subscribe to the Daily Solve on YouTube, and then you'll be able to see these videos much more easily as they go up each day according to your own YouTube notification preferences. And if you know somebody who might like this series, please do pass this along. I would appreciate it. We don't really have any way to grow the channel beyond word of mouth. That's really all that there is. And the more, I suppose the only other way is the YouTube algorithm, but the YouTube algorithm needs incentives, I think. They want to be incentivized to promote this particular series, and by spreading it among people in the manual word of mouth sort of way, perhaps that will help. Perhaps that will help the algorithms be inspired to put this in front of more eyeballs. Anyway, what am I talking about? I'm just blathering. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end, and I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle. I always enjoy the Thursday puzzle, the first tricky puzzle of the week as I think about it, the one with the wacky theme generally, and I'm curious to see what that is. And if you would like to see it with me, just come back tomorrow for the next edition of the Daily Solve. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.